So do you ever find yourself eating out of habit instead of when you're actually hungry? Food is supposed to nurture our bodies and fuel our lives, but for millions of people, it's used instead to fill an empty void. If this is something you struggle with, the good news is you have the power to change it. Joining me now is Heidi Huger, a psychotherapist who specializes in appetite awareness training. Nice to have you here, Heidi. I think this is an important issue because I feel like it affects so many people.
It does.
And why do people have this love-hate relationship with food?
Well, I think one of the main issues is that people are either out of control eating everything they want, or they're the other end and they're depriving themselves and, you know, minimizing their food intake, and that just puts you in a perpetual frustration mode of feeling deprived and binging. It's an endless cycle.
I mean, it kind of rules your life at times, I feel like, for some people.
It does, and especially in our culture, food is everywhere we go. And I think that we have not learned in our culture to separate living and having things to do without food being involved all the time.
So you specialize and you teach appetite awareness, and you're not necessarily trying to make someone a size 2. You're trying to get them back into control.
Yes.
How do you start?
Well, I think the very important part of the whole process is teaching people how to, there's 3 questions you can ask yourself. Am I really hungry? And I think that, I know it sounds like it's overstated, but I think that people don't realize how much they eat when they're not hungry.
Bored.
Right, exactly. So that's the first thing. You know, if you're not hungry, you shouldn't be eating, you know. The second is this a good choice for me? And people who have an eating issue, we do know what good choices are.
Oh, absolutely.
And the third question is this an appropriate amount of food for one person? So those are questions that we all can ask that can really change your life.
And you talk a little bit about mindless eating, and that's just kind of the boredom thing you're talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. It's learning, you know, what is real hunger versus emotional hunger. You know, if it gradually builds, you know that's real hunger. If it, you know, instantaneously you want food, you know that's just because it's there. So there are some key things you can look for that will help you determine if it's real hunger or not.
All right, and obviously everyone has a choice, and that's something that you really tell people to zone in on.
Yeah, because the thing is I think that we get so caught up in things that you can't have or shouldn't have, and it turns into deprivation versus you being able to say, you know, I have a choice. I should embrace that I can make this choice. I can change this. So it's not about what you can't have in the moment. It's about not wanting it.
Sure. So you have some helpful tips here for mindful eating. So we're going to go through them. The first one is have food-free zones in your house.
Absolutely.
And what does that mean? Just get out of the kitchen, or?
Well, it means don't eat in front of the TV. You know, your kitchen should be a safe place, but sit at the table. You know, just that it's a cue for you. That's when it's a good time to eat, is when you're sitting at the table and sitting down. You know, TV should be off, because the problem with that is the minute you start eating in front of the TV, it becomes a cue.
It's kind of like you forget you're eating and you're just putting food in your mouth, right?
But it's also like the Pavlov's law, right? You know, it's the salivating.
I need a snack in front of the TV.
Right, exactly. So you've got to break that association.
And this is a difficult one. For me, it would be at least taking the fun out of food. I mean, that's going out to restaurants, that's dinner.
Well, you know, I don't see that's an extreme. I think you can work those things in, but I just think that everything we do centers around food. It shouldn't be an extracurricular activity, you know. So every single thing that we do shouldn't have to involve food. You should be able to go for a walk or go for a hike or meet someone for coffee without it having to lead to eating something.
Okay, and as you mentioned before, take away the I can't.
Right.
From there, and then change your routines.
Absolutely. Change your routines. It could be as simple as going through a different door when you come home from work. I know it sounds silly, but so many times what we do is habit. So it's breaking some of those patterns so that you know, it's like a cue for you to say, oh, wait a minute, oh, that's right, I don't need to eat when I walk in the door.
Right. And Heidi, you have some upcoming workshops. Give us the rundown so where we can get some more information.
Yes, I have 2 workshops, free workshops coming September 8th at Water Library at 7 o'clock. It's free. You can go on the Psychology Today page and find the workshops there, and one on the 15th I'm going to be doing Body Love, which is how to change your self-image and work on your body image.
That's such important stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
You for being here, and of course we'll have more information on our website, WTNH.com. Just click style. And do you have a website or more
No,
info?
just the Psychology Today
Very
page,
good. We'll
yeah.
look forward there. And again, it is happening September 8th and then September 15th.
Yes.
Very good.